As a multi-passionate person, you probably take on too much and then burn out. But there is a trick to doing this successfully. And I'm here to show you how to build multiple things without burning out. Because God only knows how many times I've tried to do everything at once and burnt out and then just bailed on everything. Because when you take on too much and then burn out and abandon everything, you look flaky as hell. But when you do multiple things in a way that actually gives you energy and still gives you plenty of time to rest, plenty of time to connect with other humans, plenty of time to connect with nature, and just be a human being, people start to notice. Now, I want to make something very clear, that being multi-passionate doesn't mean running 7 projects at once at full intensity. That is just straight up poor energy management. And energy management is our main focus here. So I have ADHD, and when I started focusing on energy management rather than time management, everything shifted. Energy management is honoring your intuition and honoring when your body needs rest and not pushing through when you just cannot be fucked. Understanding when you have your peaks. Mine's in the morning when I wake up. That's when I'm most motivated to sit down and actually write stuff out. And it's understanding that we all have these ebbs and flows. And being able to nurture yourself in these ebbs and being able to be productive in your highs, in the flows. Because we all know that time management doesn't work. We've all tried it and we've all failed at it. So start focusing on energy management, because that is how you get shit done. And when you're in those peaks and flows, you need to start asking yourself, which projects deserve my energy right now? And which projects can be turned down to a simmer? With me, for example, I run an online community for creators called Friends Who Create, where we help each other earn an income from our creative ideas. I also run monthly in-person events in Perth for a platform called School. I'm also in the management team for a sauna wellness center here in Perth. I also script and video and edit these YouTube videos. I also go to the gym 4 times a week. I also create content for social media. And alongside all of that, I still find time to connect with other humans and have a lot of me time. I'm someone that loves movies and TV. I'll always make time to watch movies and my TV shows. However, imagine if I was to do all of these at full intensity all the time. It wouldn't work. I need to dial them down every once in a while. And here's how you can as well. There's 3 principles that I have in place. Number 1 is time blocking. And once you get really good at time blocking, it starts to become an unconscious process, because you've now trained your brain that only one project gets 70 to 80% of your intensity at a time. Time blocking is looking at your week or looking at your day and going, okay, what can I work on? What needs my energy right now? And then allocating 3 hours of your day to that thing. Allocating another 2 hours to another thing. Allocating another 3 to another thing. And making sure that you just focus on that one thing alone. And I don't want to hear this bullshit like, I can multitask, I do multitasking. It's been scientifically proven that no one can multitask. You're just kidding yourself. And when you're focusing on that one thing and giving it your 70 to 80% intensity, the other things just tick along in the background, but you never turn them down to 0. Once you turn that dial down to 0, it's way harder to start it up again. And that's when you usually quit. That's when you usually abandon that project. And then it just becomes another project that you started and you didn't finish. And we all know we have a graveyard full of them. Number 2 is having a main project or a job that funds your life. All the heroes and the gurus on social media these days telling you to burn the boats and to totally get rid of plan B, because plan A is what you need to focus on, because plan A is the thing that will get you there. Because plan B is just slowing you down, man. You need to focus on plan A. Put all your energy into plan A. I think it's terrible advice. Trust me, I tried. I think it's way better to have a stable weekly income that supports your life in a job that you actually really like and a job that serves your mission. Then you can build your passion project intentionally instead of forcing things to happen. When you have a rushed energy when you're building your business and you're relying on it to give you an income and to grow fast, you put yourself in a stress state. You put yourself in a scarcity state. It doesn't feel expansive, it feels restrictive, it feels chaotic, it feels like pressure, which ultimately will just lead to burnout. The amount of people that worked for where they burned the boats and they didn't have anything left and they were overnight success and one idea happened and it just kicked off, that is a very limited number of people. It just seems like that's the way to do it because those people share their story online because it's awesome. And if that happened to me as well, you bet I'd share my story too. But as delusional as you have to be to start something like this, you also got to be very realistic. That only happens for a few people. So it's about finding a smarter way to do things so that you don't burn yourself out. Because you can do a lot of things at the same time. You just have to focus on energy management and having a main source of income. The third thing is the Eisenhower matrix. This has changed everything for me, especially being someone who just has a lot of stuff going on at once. I often need to highlight my priorities in a visual format, and this allows for that to happen. So with the Eisenhower matrix, we have do this in the top left corner. We have schedule this in the top right corner, delegate this in the bottom left corner, and delete this in the bottom right corner. So what I do is I go about my week, and whenever an idea comes to mind that I know I need to do, I'll take out my notes app and I'll put it in my to-dos. I don't decide whether I do this, schedule this, delegate this, or delete this. I just chuck it straight into my notes app. And there's a few times throughout my week where I'll actually sit down and I'll go through that list and I'll put it in the Eisenhower matrix. Things that I need to do or things that are a priority, I'll put it in the do this section. Things that aren't really that important, aren't that urgent, and can be done at a later date, I'll put it in schedule this. Things that can be handled off to someone else, I'll put it in delegate this. And then things that I can absolutely get rid of and delete because it's just mental clutter that is going to take up space anyway, I put in delete this. Then I just look at that list and I get to work. It's really that simple. Just do all the do this stuff. And if you've got any time left over, start dabbling into the schedule this. If you get all that stuff done, go to delegate this. Start following up with people. Do they need help finishing what you delegated for them? It keeps you on top of everything. So what if you have 10 ideas and don't know which one should be the main project? Don't know which one you should focus on right now? The answer is so fucking easy. Just pick the one that lights you up the most. Because starting here will allow you to build the skill of focusing for long periods of time on a project. And because you love it, it's easy. Right now, you're building up this ability to sit down and focus on one thing for a long period of time. So you pick something easy to focus on. You pick something that actually genuinely lights you up. You put your energy into this one project, the other projects get put onto simmer mode. Remember, don't turn the dial all the way down to 0, turn it down to 1. And what if you notice that a project starts getting traction? Let's say you started this project that you really care about and that you're really passionate about, and all of a sudden it starts blowing up. Even better, crank up the intensity, ride the momentum, but make sure not to kill the other projects completely. This game of juggling multiple projects without burning out is always changing. And the more in tune you are with your intuition, the easier it will be to shift and change with what needs your attention. You become a co-creator with the universe because you understand what your intuition is calling you to do. Yes, having time blocking is important, but if something is working right now, ditch that. Don't worry about the plan. Lean into the thing that is kicking off, that is working. Don't discard it because your schedule says to move on to the next thing. Because honestly, having a schedule sucks. I don't have one. I don't plan anything out. I wake up and then decide what I'm doing for that day only. Be spontaneous with this. You'll thank yourself later. So, if this video called to you, then join my school community below, where the multi-passionate creator in you is supported and encouraged to build the life of your dreams.